We've been waiting for you to come to Mill Lake. Waiting for you to come to Mill Lake. Wherever you're from, we're so glad you've come. We've been waiting for you to come to Mill Lake. Good morning, boys and girls. How is everybody today? I hope that you all are having a good day, and I thought it would be fun if we did our morning meeting again together. Let's take a look at our message board. I did something a little bit different today. I wrote all the letters in purple. Let's look at the first two letters. I'm going to do that to them, like that. I see a T and an H, and a T and an H. Does anybody remember what that was called when two letters work together to make a sound? If you said blend, you were right. It's a blend. T and H are going to work together, and we're going to stick our tongue out to make that sound. Try it with me. Today is Thursday. Thursday thrills. Message 1. It may be a little bit hard to see that. Let me bring my computer a little bit closer. We're going to talk about the life cycle of a butterfly. I'll explain that more. I'll draw bigger pictures for you. We also have a craft with a caterpillar, a paper towel roll, and a butterfly. I wonder what that's going to be. And then the big news today, big news. In the mail, Mrs. de Blasio is going to get some real caterpillars. In about 2 weeks, in the mail to my house, I will get caterpillars. And boys and girls, it's so exciting. We're going to get to watch the life cycle of a butterfly on the computer. I'm going to keep the caterpillars in my house, and I'm going to watch them grow and change and live out their life cycle. And then when they become butterflies, I'll let them go in my yard. Now, I planted a lot of flowers this year that butterflies like to take the nectar from. So I hope that those butterflies live their life in my yard. And if they do, I'll take lots of pictures and show you. But let's go back to message number 1. When you're little, you start out like a baby, right? First you're in your mommy's belly, and then you're born and you're a baby. Well, caterpillars start out first as an egg. Those are little eggs. And then they hatch. And when they hatch, or get born, like you did, they're called a caterpillar or a larva. That's a caterpillar. Little tiny, let me give him some legs, caterpillar. After they're a caterpillar, they eat and eat and eat. And what happens to you when you eat and eat? Your body gets bigger, you grow stronger. Well, that happens to caterpillars too. And they go into something called a chrysalis or a pupa. That's like a cocoon. They stay inside there for a lot of days, for about 14 days. And when they come out, this is the last part of their life cycle, they become a butterfly, just like that. And then that butterfly can lay eggs, and more caterpillars can be born. And then they go into their chrysalis, and then they become butterflies. And then they lay eggs. It keeps going and going and going. Just like you were a baby, and then you got bigger, and then you became an adult, and then maybe you had some babies. It's a life cycle. It goes around and round. So one of our crafts today is making a life cycle of a butterfly. Parents, I don't want you to be intimidated by this. It's two pieces you need to print. You can either print the color version, or I just colored these myself with colored pencils. And I didn't have any metal brass brads to use, so I took a thumbtack and I hammered down the back so it stayed flat and it wouldn't cut me. And it spins the same way a brass would spin. And when you put it on, you can see the life cycle of that butterfly. It starts out as an egg. They lay their eggs on a leaf. Then it is a larva or a caterpillar. Then comes the pupa or the chrysalis. And caterpillars usually make their chrysalis on a branch of a tree so it's safe from danger. And when they come out of that pupa or chrysalis, they are an adult butterfly. And then it starts all over again. So that's a fun craft you can make and talk about the life cycle of a butterfly with your family. And then the other craft I asked parents to save a paper towel roll this week. So you're going to take your paper towel roll, and parents, you're going to cut out the caterpillar and the butterfly. I think each paper has two. So if you want to make two, you can, or you can just throw out the extra set. Color them in, butterfly and caterpillar. And then you put a string attached. Oops. You attach a string on either end for the caterpillar. Whoops. Here's my little caterpillar. And one for the butterfly on the other end, and tuck it inside. So a caterpillar eats and eats and eats and eats. And when he's all big and grown, he goes into his chrysalis and stays there for a lot of days, for about 14 days. And when he comes out, he is a beautiful butterfly. So that's a fun way to remember what happens to a caterpillar and how it changes from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Now, my last bit of news, as I mentioned before, is we will be getting caterpillars. I'm going to get caterpillars mailed to my house. Usually we would be doing this at school, but I'm being very brave and letting some caterpillars come live at my house for a while. I'm going to show them to you every day on the computer. I have a special cup that they'll be in. And when they get big enough and they go into their chrysalis stage, we'll put them in a butterfly cage and we'll wait and watch every day. And then they will emerge into butterflies. Kind of like how you've grown up this year. You started preschool a long time ago in September. And you were little and you were a little bit afraid. And now it's almost the end of our school year. And it's time for you to be butterflies and fly. So stay tuned for those caterpillars and have fun today doing your crafts. I love you and I miss you. Be well.